Okay, before you talk to me about the spark plug wires, we gotta know where the Beetlejuice socks are from.
These are from Five Below. Five Below.
Five Below.
Yep.
Five Below?
Yeah. Five Below.
They're pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I love Beetlejuice is one of my favorite movies.
Do what?
For people who don't know what Five Below is.
Everything in there's below $5. It's like Dollar Tree, but for rich people. You know. Sometimes you just got to get how you live. You know. You think I won't pay $5 for a pair of socks? You crazy?
Okay, anyway, so you are working on these spark plug wires.
Yeah, we're
right?
we're mocking some spark plug wires up, trying to make them look the same on both sides.
These are Magnacore, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And these came today. So
Yeah, they're super nice. They're good looking boots. Yeah, I mean they're super nice plug wires for sure.
Do you want to know about the plug wires? Would you like to know more about the plug
They have that
wires?
60 ohms listed in.
So, Magnacore wires are a high resistance wire which does a better job of blocking out the electromagnetic interference that comes from spark plug wires. So these do a better job than your typical wire just because they're a high resistance wire. So it's kind of like running a resistor plug or a resistor plug boot. But we run non-resistor plugs in these motors, so here we are. These clean up the data a good bit.
So why do other companies advertise low resistance on their spark plug wires?
Well, a low resistance wire should increase spark energy at the plug tip. It's a trade-off between the two, but realistically, it's very negligible, the amount of difference between the energy at the plug tip. So, I haven't used these in a long time, but I've used them years ago. They're a great wire, so we're gonna try them out. I got them for my car too, so don't worry. If you're watching this, don't think that I'm trying to experiment on Cletus' stuff, because we do it in my own car as well. And I've used them on other cars as well, so they're nice. Anyway, back to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean Devin just pretty much summed it up. So we're gonna mock them up, make them look the same on both sides, and then we're gonna cut and crimp these joints, and everybody done.
All right. Awesome. We'll check back once they're cut and fitted.
All right, cool.
And Daniel are measuring for the main engine harness right now. So let's see what they're doing.
What you measuring to? Is that the?
The right block up here.
Okay.
So you're gonna have Panvacs in there.
What's he got? 45?
Yeah, 45.
I think it's 45, yeah.
What is it? Panback? What else?
Pump fuel pressure and M1 fuel pressure and engine spare. What are you measuring there? The furthest injector. Speak up.
The farthest set of injectors.
Yeah.
What is it?
So what we'll do is we'll cut all the injectors this length, right?
It's 35 layers. And it's 40.
Yeah.
Will you build the injector portion of the harness on the bench, or
All of it will be built on the bench.
all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything will be built on the bench. So 65.
Yeah.
60, 60,
65 to the crank.
65 out of the crank.
Yes.
You got a Rife block back here too.
Okay.
So make sure you measure your loop, and then your breakout's going to happen. Yeah, so that so down and then kind of.
Is map in that back one?
You know what I mean? Yeah. So call it 30 inches. to
Is
32.
map in the? Is that?
Map,
Okay.
coolant temp, air temp, and oil pressure.
Would you just make the cam the same length as what you did that Rife block, or just take?
Yeah,
Because it's gonna be right there.
Yeah, it's gonna be right there. The cam could be.
That's all we're missing.
15 inches on the cam.
And then the bottom says injectors.
Yeah,
Make
but we're
them
gonna make
the
all the
same
injectors the same length. Yeah, or we could cut them 10 inches shorter. It's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
this is all 40.
So now we got a cut sheet. Now we got lengths.
So now you gotta just start cutting.
Yeah, now we'll start cutting some stuff. First thing, always first thing is the shielded cable for the crank and the cam. And then we'll use the red for the cam. We'll use this for the crank. So then we'll put these over here, and this is what you start. But there's like some prep work that has to be done to these before they're like ready. But this will be like the kind of the core. If this was longer, this would for sure be the core of the engine harness. But they're both relatively short, or that's relatively short, so it won't be. And then, yeah, now it's just the rest of the sensor stuff.
All right, so this is our shielded cable that we use for the cam and the crank. So what's in here is 3 conductors plus a shield, a jacketed shield. So we use a cable ringer, right? And we'll come down here, we'll ring this 1 full lap, then we'll take a knife, find your cut line where you just cut, and then score the jacket. You gotta be really careful with this so you don't get the wire underneath of it. The jacket, the shield, you'll see in a second, is pretty tough. So then score it, peel it back, and then there's your shield. So this shield is 360 degree. This is Tevzel wire, that's why it's like this. There's plenty of other shielded jackets and shielded cable that's not like this. So what we need to then do, slide this down. This is the way we do it. Take a pair of flush cutters, come in here behind, grab a hold of that jacket and cut the jacket or the shielding off. Slide it off. Now we will line that up right at the edge. Ding. There we go. Put your fingernail behind it. Now you got a spot to slide on a solder sleeve. So what we'll do is I'll show you the end result. I don't want to film it while it's shrinking because it's loud, but these are solder sleeves. We'll grab 2 of them and I'll come over here, grab a little piece of wire. We use black with yellow stripe as our signal ground for cam and crank, and make sure that you cut them longer than your length here. So yeah, there's quite a few steps in this. Strip, drop a solder sleeve over top, like so. Take your wire, tuck it behind the braid, pull it back, and then you'll have that. And we will shrink this, or we'll hit this with heat, and then that red band right there will turn, clear solder colored, silver, and then we're good to go, and we'll seal it off with a piece of SCL. So give me a minute, and I'll shrink these, and we'll show you what they look like. You could trim some of this shit down too and get rid of this, right? I'm doing another one. So, back up a little bit. I would take this clip and 2x it speed-wise. You know what I mean? All right, so while they're still cutting wire, we've got our 5 volt. So this is what we use for 5 volt. This is just orange and black stripe 22 gauge. There's 4 of them here, but we only need 3. This 4th one is a shorty that this is going to get pinned to the bulkhead connector. And then these 3 are going to go out to the 3 things that we need 5 volt for. So the reason we only need 5 volt, come here, is in 3 spots is because we've got throttle position right here. That it's independent, needs its own 5 volt. And then we only need 1 5 volt for this rife block here. And then we need 1 5 volt for the rife block in the back. So we only need 3 positions for 5 volt. If we weren't using rife blocks, we might need like 4, 8, 9. We'd need 9 or 10. So what we're gonna do here is take my 4 5 volt wires like this and strip them. And then, see, these 4 wires aren't going to fit into one terminal, size 20 gauge terminal. So we'll take these 4, twist them up, try to get them as tight as you can. These are little Mullet stub splices that we use. So we'll do this.
The dinosaurs, that's a T-Rex.
Yeah, there's a little T-Rex crimpers. And then, there we go. Got a good crimp on it, and then we've got this one that will do a U-turn like so and go up to the bulkhead connector, and this will all be inside the boot. So we have to do 2 of these splices, 1 for 5 volt, 1 for sensor ground, and then we'll have to do a 3rd one of these splices, but a little bit larger for the injector A power. So the small injectors underneath the intake manifold, we're supplying them with 4 wires through the bulkhead, and then we're going to do a splice that goes from 4 feeds to 8 feeds underneath the boot and the bulkhead connector. So we'll do these, get them nice and. We just walk into the thing.
No, we got these in.
Oh.
You need to make a label that says Justin's go.
Yeah. And so anyway, so here's our sensor grounds. Again, same deal. Splice this. And then once these are crimped nice, we'll grab a piece of Raychem SCL. This is that double wall, heavy duty stuff. And a pair of little snippers. And click, click, and then we'll shrink them. So that's it. I just got to do one over there for that too. So Justin's stripping. We all stripping. Everybody stripping.
Nobody's tipping.
Ain't nobody tipping though.
Nobody's tipping.
Yeah. So.
Hey, get the pipe point or whatever it's called. What's it called?
So once this is shrunk, it's gonna shrink, and then just give it a little squeeze with your finger while it's hot. Seals off the end, real nice like, and you got yourself a little splice right there. Happy little splice. So what we'll do is,
Splice of life.
so what we'll do is we'll take this. I usually just wrap it around my finger like this, and then I give it like an extra inch. It's good. And I find this one. Again, just wrap it around my finger. Give it an extra inch. It's good. Now this is trash, and now these are going to be what gets terminated to the pins in the bulkhead connector. So these few wires here will go with all these sensor wires. So usually when we build out a bulkhead connector, we do this, and we leave like we keep the stuff separated. So like these are all the sensors. This is cam and crank, and then there's all the injectors down there. So let's get this stuff stripped quick, and then we'll start crimping terminals on, and then we'll start recording once we start crimping terminals again. So give me a minute. All right, so we got all the wiring cut, right? So these are sensors, cam, crank, like we just talked about. and then 5 volt, all of our individual sensor leads. And then down here, we've got a set of injectors with the injector power with them. They're all crimped. You know, we got turbos on all of them. So something to point out, kind of hard to see, really hard to focus on. But the wire, the strip length is a little touch longer so that you see a little bit of that silver sticking out. Really hard to see. But anyway, this is one set of injectors, another set of injectors, and then this is our injector set A, which is the small ones underneath the intake manifold with our splice. So we have 4 power wires coming through to feed 8 injectors. So Justin is going to start pinning this here connector. So
The astute amongst you will notice that Laura has been replaced by Devin, and
yeah, so she's been replaced, she's been fired,
she's out of here
gone. So what is he doing? He's working around in a circle.
in a circle. And to what would you say to people who have a problem with using a poker to put them in?
With 22 gauge, it means nothing. It don't matter. As long as you get behind the back of the pin there. So what is he doing? He's following this pinout sheet with that diagram right there. And this, so is this one backwards?
Yeah, I think this one is
Yeah,
backwards.
this one's backwards.
Yeah,
So
it's backwards.
turn around. So like if you're looking at it like,
It would be right this way.
yeah, so if you're looking at it like that, it's correct, but you can't put the wires in from there. So flip it around and it becomes backwards. So instead of working like according to this sheet, you'd be here. You always start out with the old PP, you know?
PP.
So you want to start off with the PP, then go here, and you'd work your way around. And it spirals and it gets bigger as it spirals, yada yada, to there. Well, because this side of the connector is backwards, we're going to do this, and it'll match up. So let me try to zoom in there and see if you can see the, but whatever. So anyway, so why do we pin those in the middle?
Because the like electromagnetic interference and all, you know what I mean, and the fighting that, really.
No, really, the main reason why we pin those in the middle is because they share 12 volt and they share a ground, so it's
But more
easy as-
importantly, it's for EMF, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
What ohm twist are we going to put in these wires?
We're gonna put about 1200 ohms.
This is a 1200 ohm?
1200 ohm.
Well, this is because this is a real big deal here. This is the
This is a
engine
big
harness.
deal.
You got to take it serious.
We might even go 1800. I don't know.
Ooh,
I don't know. We'll see.
1800?
It's Friday, you know, you never know.
Dude,
Right.
they would never.
You think that Laura's gonna leave any of this stuff in?
Yeah, she has to.
She probably
We're going to have shit else to put in the video.
I know, right? so she's the one who said she had orders to box up, so she.
Yeah,
gave me
she
the
was-
camera. So anyway, so now we're about to go throw it in a circle.
Yeah.
And we're gonna pin this out. So I'm gonna try to put this on time lapse and like a
Hopefully,
slow-mo,
I'm
like
not
a
done
slower time lapse.
by the time we figure that out.
Yeah. So all right, peep this.
engine harness. So
Yep.
what exactly do you have going on at the moment?
Well, I just time-lapsed all this, so this is all, we crimped it, like you saw earlier, crimped it, and then populated it, and then service looped it, and then sealed it up. It's all wrapped up in Kapton tape. And now I'm we have to go about, I don't know, maybe 8 inches before a breakout happens, 7 to 8 inches. So,
7 to 8.
yeah, so the wire is basically going to come off. It's easier if we look at it this way because it's backwards right now. So like if you're standing there at the engine, in the front of the engine, the harness is going to go towards the passenger side and then come back as tight as we can get it because it has a bunch of stuff to avoid in the back of the intake manifold. So basically the goal here is to get this to do this and then split right about there. And then we have a couple of things that have to split off, and then there's some stuff that keeps going. So for reference, like one of the big questions we keep getting asked is like, why do you twist wire? So like here, I just pulled all these wire strips. This is the way most people would make a harness. They'd just wrap some tape in a couple spots, and then they'd put loom over it. So we need to bend this 180. So really the bend point is where my finger is. You see how it all starts pushing apart? See how some of this is short, now some of this is getting pulled tight? This is a really under-exaggerated amount of tension. Like there's a lot more tension in a loom than this. So when we're done, when this is loomed up the way it's supposed to, it's only 8 inches, so it's not super, it's not that big of a deal, 7, 8 inches. But it's still a good example of why it's important to do what we do. Or not, you don't have to. You gotta do what we do. I don't care. But this is why we do it. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. So it comes out, there's a hard 90 right here, and it has to stay like pretty low profile. So the back shell will go on, and then the boot will go on. But first we have to do this section here. We'll loom this with DR25. We'll put the back shell on. We'll shrink the boot. But before we shrink the boot, what we'll do is we'll test from the ECU out to each one of these connections after it's cut the length to make sure that everything's pinned correctly. So yeah, so I'm gonna get to making this happen for about 7 to 8 inches, and then we'll mock up and so we can probably time lapse from this.
Okay.
So all right.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. All right. J1B6. It's gonna be purple.
What are you doing right now?
We're ringing everything out on the bulkhead. J1B5 white. Ringing everything out on the bulkhead to make sure it's terminated right before we terminate everything and put a boot on it. J1B7. Okay.
That's good. A couple people had asked how we make sure everything's working.
Yeah, this is how we ring it out and
To be honest, we're acting brand new with Cletus. We would normally just put it in the car and be like, just fuck, hit the starter.
Which pin is it supposed to be on?
This is brown.
I know.
26.
26 for brown?
Yeah, J1B 26.
Okay.
J1B 25.
Yep. It's
J-
now gonna be yellow.
Yellow,
Yeah, well,
yes.
Then,
J1B 19 is
There you go.
orange.
injector set A is good. Injector set B was on the injector driver over here,
Yeah.
correct? Okay. So,
What's the color for me? The power.
Oh, red.
yeah, so we segregated the power wires, or we segregated the sets, because in time lapse, you probably saw us throwing them out there to make sure that our harness was pinned correctly before we came over here to check it again.
You're
So,
at
what
30.
pin am I supposed to be in?
34, purple.
You all right, sir?
Read 34 yours again. Unless you, hopefully you did this one.
Oh, oh, well, you changed and I changed. Which one do you want?
Purple.
Check the other one. Oh, okay, so set B is not over there.
Cut.
No, it's fine. Is that set B?
That was set B. So we just gotta change the powers, like just flip
Oh,
flop
that's,
the
oh,
powers.
that's all it is, okay. So that's fine. So then work with set,
Yeah, we're good.
25. 17, green. 9, blue. 26, gray.
Gray.
18, brown. 10 and 1.
okay, now let's check. So is that,
Let's check set B now.
Purple. White. Blue. We're not going blue, we're going green.
Green,
yeah, you should be on green,
Oh, that's a big green.
then blue.
blue,
No, blue.
gray, brown, yellow, orange. Bingo,
Nailed it.
done, good to go. Okay.
And that's how you check that's right.
So, do that every time before we, go through all the hassle of straight, well, so we do this before we go
Bang
through
it in
the
the
hassle.
motor, it's just like this.
Stop. All right, now it's time to finish this up.
So we have a new plug for the trailer wiring, and it has tie bolts apparently.
Titanium. Only
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
Kabam. It don't have anything in
Oh
it.
shit.
Yeah, with the guts right of it. Yeah. We took the guts out that came in it to put this into it. This is a little box that this little magical box takes your taillights, left turn, right turn, and a brake signal all in, and then goes through a series of diodes and probably some black magic, and then comes out with only 4 lights being used. It gets rid of your brake light and uses your turn signals and such as them for a little 4-pin trailer. So that's what we have going on, but we also have like some other stuff like a reverse wire and whatnot that's like subverting this, you know. But this will be tucked up in there, hidden, and then we'll have trailer plug hookup and a taillight harness finally.
Okay.
So that'll be
sweet.
nice.
Well, we'll check all that out when you are finished with it.
Yeah, when we get something going on.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
day. So I forgot that I didn't realize that the camera died. And so if you're watching time lapse, which was right before this, you saw that I was working up to here, and then I broke these things out, and I was twisting this stuff up. Anyway, I wound up covering it, whatever. You miss it in time lapse. So what I did was, when we were in the car, we mocked it up, and I found a reference point, which was this joint right here was going to be laid up against this part of the intake manifold right here, like this. So then I left it plugged in real tight, and then, took a measurement, if you will, and then zip tied this in location so that I knew that this is where it's going to have to be, and this is the direction it's going to be in. It's going to plug in just like so. It'll plug in a little easier when this isn't zip tied to there, but whatever. So it plugs in just like this into the car, and then we've got our main trunk. So we have 24 injectors, and I have the injectors separated out per set and then per bank. So this is a bank of injectors, and the way I separated these, the way that we do this is we use, so this is 18 gauge wire that's feeding the big injectors, and it's 20 gauge wire feeding the small injectors. So that's somewhat easy to kind of decipher between the two of them, but what we do is we use different striped colored red, the power wire for it. So the 20 gauge is red with a white stripe, and that's for injector set A. And then we have solid red for B, or vice versa, I have to look at the paperwork. And then we have red with a black stripe for the other set. So this is all 18, and then we have them, separated. So we have a color code that we use in-house, so like orange is cylinder 1 for everything, whether it be injector, coil, whatever. 3 is brown, 5 is blue, 7 is white. It's just the way that I laid out colors years and years ago, and this is just kind of the way I stick to it. So now what we need to do is, all this stuff is long, so we're going to come up between these two cylinders. Now I've done, I think like 6 or 7 different cars with these 24 injector intakes, and then my own personal car has got one of these 24 injector intakes. So these are a little tricky because you have 24 injectors. So what I've learned is that by making sure that you have this wire come up dead center between the two of these bolts right here, because this is conventional big block Chevrolet, so it's difficult to get your hands in here to bolt this in. So you pull the valve cover off, but having this come up in the middle makes a big difference in how its simplicity of putting the car back together. So I'm going to hold this in place, and then we're going to cut, cylinder 1 like so, and then cylinder 1C, we'll come over here like so, and we line them up. 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 5, 5, 5, 7, 7. So then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Underneath of here, I like to leave these a little loose under here, because we're going to boot these, and the valley plate sits right here, lays flush right here. But we're going to boot these connectors, right? These are EV1 injector connectors. All of these are EV1. I prefer EV1 just because they make a nice boot for them. So we're going to boot these, but I like to leave these a little loose. So what I typically do is I rotate the injector as far away from the wire as possible before I cut it. And the reason being is that when you go to put this valley plate on, it gets really tight in here, like in this area. So if you look at this plane, like where my hand is, if you look under here, it gets really tight here. So we don't want, wire being stressed up against the valley plate. So I leave these a little long. I'm going to cut these to length, rotate all these away like this, and then I'm going to rotate these away. And what I mean by away is away from wherever the wire is coming from. So, so number 6 is over here, which is green for us, and I'll rotate it away, and I'll cut it long on the long side of that. So, and then again, number 8, I'll do the same thing with all of them. So we've already got our rear rife block broken out. We've already got our, where is it? There it is, cam sensor broken out. And then we still have our crank, and I've got a breakout up here. So this was like kind of my core. So this is where we've got a throttle position sensor in the front rife block. And so I don't do, if you can tell from this time lapse and from this video, is I like to start there at that bulkhead and work your way down to the last point, which is crank. So when this thing goes in the car, or when this intake goes back on the engine, this will be all plugged in, done, valley plate on, the whole 9 yards, and it'll be shoved back in the car. And if they ever pull the intake off of it, they're not gonna unplug all this stuff because you can't, it's underneath the valley plate. So this is the way we do it. And I think it's coming out pretty good. You could also see why I was pretty adamant about making sure that I had these fittings in a location that I knew was gonna be like which direction they had to go because of the way the harness comes in. So typically we like to plumb stuff first, but wiring came up first with this one. And but either way, we're making through it and we're doing all right. I think we're doing all right, you know. Let us know in the comments if we are doing all right or if I'm not doing all right. And let me know if I'm not going fast enough for you. So also, hey, did you tell everybody?
Tell everybody what.
We got new shirts. Well, they're old shirts, but they're new.
Oh, yeah, turn around.
We got a bunch of new shirts.
Yeah, so these are our wiring diagram shirts that we had a couple years ago, and they were our most popular. And somehow people keep ordering them, even though we didn't have them, which is weird. So we just went ahead and restocked them.
Yep.
So get you one.
They're pretty sweet.
Cool.
It's pretty cool
Like a
little wiring.
dominator and stuff on there.
Yep. It's actually a wiring diagram of what's in Mullet.
Oh wow! Turn around again.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Turn around. This is a big canvas here.
Yep.
So yeah, look at that. So right here is the dominator, and then there is the Racepack Smart Wire.
Yep.
And there.
There's a bunch of harness and stuff. We didn't go too in depth with it, but these are the products that are in Mullet. So this kind of goes to show that I've been doing this a long time because this shirt came out when we do this shirt 23.
Yeah.
And I had this design laid out for it years ago. But these are the parts that are in Mullet. So swing on over to our website and buy a t-shirt. They're sweet. We also have our other HCR shirts.
The basic logo shirt, and
Yep.
then in the next couple days we will have
The new car.
shirts.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, some of you guys have been subscribed to this channel for a while. I also have a car, and we also race, and we have a new shirt coming out, and we have a new car being built.
A lot of people still think that you have the convertible.
Yeah, I don't have the
A
convertible
bunch of people
anymore.
in the comments
Yep.
talking about the convertible. So
Yep. So the convertible is sold. It is now a coupe, the converter coupe, and the new owner is very excited for it. And we have a new car being put together, and we've been working on it for a while, and it's documented on the channel pretty well. So it's an S550 Mustang, but we have new shirts coming out for that, and they are sweet. I'm pretty jazzed about them, and it's
Jeff
got a.
Salvato did them. He
Yep.
did a great job.
And the name is cool. You'll see it when we release the shirts, but they'll be on our website. We're not going to release any of that kind of stuff until they're on the website, so they're able to be bought.
We also have really badass laptop mats.
We also have cool laptop mats, and I think we have hats coming too, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Hats I think might be here at the end of next week.
So
Not sure.
we did a limited number of hats. We did some sweatshirts. We did some T-shirts. Anyway, we're not a big merch shop, if you couldn't tell. We wire cars. Hell, I'm dumb enough to know that not realize that the camera shut off. So.
But everybody loves racing related shirts, so.
So buy T-shirts, and I'm going to talk to Garrett and see if we can't do a shirt with Mullet and a bunch of wires and stuff hanging all over it. We do like a little joint thing. So, okay, I'm gonna get back to work. So, you know what? Maybe we'll wrap this up for tomorrow. So,
Tomorrow is Oreo Nutella
yeah,
for breakfast.
yeah, that'd be exciting. So, if you can't tell, Laura's trying to make me fat. She's been succeeding. So, but anyway, all right. Thanks for checking us out. Peace out. We'll be back maybe tomorrow or something. Depends on if she poisons me or not.
I would never do such a thing.
See ya.
Bye.